going to angle this a little bit better. Sorry about that. And zoom in. Good evening, everyone. It's Mary Jo Snyder. Welcome to day 11 of my 12 Days of Christmas Retreat in a Box. Thank you so much for joining me. This is a pre-recorded video due to my scheduling for this evening. So I wanted to be sure to come to you with a card as well as an awesome treat holder. Now, you do have extra supplies in your project kit that are or not your project kit, but in your complete retreat box that are the 12 by 12, and they look similar to this, except this is not the color you received. It is the silver or gold, I can't remember, with the two colors that I sent you. Now you're going to use that for your 3D project that we're going to do today, or you can use 6x6 of one of your designs if you have enough left. Now remember, we only have one card left, so pick a full sheet so that you can at least cut 6x6, and we'll get to that in the next project. First, we're going to grab our card kit for for the 11th day, which is December 11th, 2025. Yay, right on schedule. So exciting. And we are going to put this awesome card together, and you're going to need your cherry cobbler ink. You also have rhinestones of some sort in your packet, and I believe they are the ones that go with a turtle sweet that may have, they're like the softer, soft seafoam colors. You're going to want this tag or this label from your supplies. So make sure you don't lose your gems, but if you do, go ahead and use those awesome faceted snowflakes that you have in your stash for this project or for this retreat. Just trying to angle my camera the right way. I am using, for myself, I wanted to pick Sending Cheer, because on the tag, you're going to put one sentiment. Hopefully it's going to fit. Might have to pick another one. Sending Cheer for the inside. So this is going to be what I used. Sending Cheer, but you could go Merry Wishes, Merry and Bright on the inside. Anything you want, but you have to make sure your first word is going to fit on there, and that whatever you put on the inside is going to coordinate with the words that you pick out. And I just knocked over my lamp. Sorry. All right, so here we go. Cherry cobbler ink. Let's do our stamping first. I have this pulled out, but I don't need this, but this is the design that I am using. And I've already got everything cut, so we're good there. We're going to do our stamping. So I'm going to grab my cherry cobbler ink. I already have my sentiments mounted on my blocks. So I'm going to put Sending. And on the inside of my card, if I can grab that other piece of white, and then I'll give you the measurements to your designer series paper. So this is going to go portrait and cheer. And I haven't used the stamp, so hopefully I'm going to get a decent image. Okay, so we've got our stamping done. Set those aside. And now the size of designer series paper from this sheet here. And I would go ahead, since we haven't used this at all, I don't believe, I would go ahead and cut this down to a 6x6 and maybe use this portion for our treat box that we're going to make today. Okay. Or you can use that foil paper that is in your project retreat kit. The designer series paper that I've cut for this card is 1x4, and you're going to need 2 pieces of that. We have a piece of cherry cobbler that actually is a fold. We have our garden green card base, and it's just a single piece. And we have a beautiful Christmas tree that is going to layer right on top of this. And this is from those Memory More cards. So go ahead, grab your adhesive. This looks like camouflage of some sort on the back, and I love it so much. I have yet to use some of my products that I've received or that I purchased in order to, let's hope that this opens the right way. I have a tendency to do things upside down lately. All right, Sending Cheer. The cheer is going to go on the inside, or whatever your sentiment is. Just like that, with about an 1/8 of an inch border. You've got that. I might as well leave that undone. You're going to take this portion and you are going to add your strips of designer series paper to the far left and the far right with about an 1/8 of an inch border. Okay. Oops, doesn't matter because the other piece is going to lay right next to it. Then you're going to take this. This is a super easy card. And on the back side, this is going to fit right in between those pieces. You want to make sure it's lined up to the bottom and the top of your card base because it's the same size as the base. So you've got that a little crooked. See if I can fix that. There we go. So you've got that. Sending, you are going to add grab a dimensional. If I can find some. I'm going to add this to one side, the straight edge side, and I'm going to add this right here. This is going to pull up, sending cheer. Grab those rhinestones that are in your kit or your faceted snowflakes, and you can go ahead and use those to decorate the front of your card. Oops. And I'm going to put one here. And one here. You are actually going to use one snowflake in addition to this. If I can get this off of here. This one goes down here. Grab one snowflake, the larger of the clear, put that at the top of your tree. And now you have, and actually maybe I want to move this a little bit down, over, down here. Doesn't matter where you put them, as long as you have the star up there on the top. And there is your really easy card for today. Next, we are going to, and I'm going to use designer series paper. You can use any of the paper that you have as long as you can get a 6x6 piece. Bring that over and cut this down to 6 inches. So you could get 4 of these out of one sheet of 12x12 paper, 2 out of the paper that you have. But just remember, we have one more card and one more treat to make tomorrow, plus a bonus project. And I'm sure you know what that entails in your kit. All right, scoring tool. Now, this is a really easy treat holder, but what you want to make sure you do is if the design you want to face upward or on the outside is what you want facing up, okay? I want this pretty design to coordinate with the card I just did. So I'm going to take my scoring tool. It's designer series paper. Anytime you have designer series paper or specialty paper that has designs on it, then you want to be sure that you do not score too hard because you do not want to rip your designer series paper. So you're going to put your 6x6 piece of paper up to the corner here, and you are going to score at 1 3/8. Gently score. And if your paper is a direction, that score line is the bottom of your treat holder. So make sure your direction, your paper is going the direction you want when you turn that counterclockwise just once, okay? Now this is the bottom of your treat holder. Now at this part of your treat holder, the other, by turning it a half turn or one turn, you are going to score So let's do that again. We scored here at 1 3/8. Turn that. Now that score line is at the bottom across here. You are going to score at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. Okay. And now you have the score lines at the bottom. And what you want to do, and you're going to have to follow this down or flip it over. You have that score line. Now that bottom is at the top because you flipped it over. We are just going to make 2 additional score lines that we're going to cut, but you're only going to score it to that first line. So by flipping, this is my bottom with that straight line. Flipping it over is going to help me use my grid here or my measurements here to make sure I'm scoring in the right place. The first score line is 1 3/8, and only to that first score line is where you're going to cut that. And I went a little beyond it, but that's okay. 1 3/8 and 4 1/8. It's hard for me to see the line, so I'm just guessing. So that's going to help create the bottom of our tree holder. So I'm going to varnish all of these so that I can see what I'm doing. It's very hard to see with this paper. The only thing you can't varnish is that bottom panel that has the 4 score lines on it. And then we're going to do some cutting. Okay, so let's go ahead, find our score lines and varnish those. And that one here. Okay. Now, if you're able to see your score lines really well, which I can't so much, maybe on this side. All right, I'm going to do my best so that I can show you exactly where you need to cut. So those 4 score lines are at the bottom, right? And you are going to, I'm going to angle cut. Each of those score lines out. Just a small angle. This is going to help put your box together. I think I got a little overzealous with that one. This one you're going to angle, and you're going to angle that small rectangle off of the side, okay? And you can angle this side as well. It's just going to help when you're folding it together, okay? Now you can, what you're going to do, you can add tear and tape, which I am going to do, Tombow glue, whatever you choose, Seal Plus, strong adhesive to keep it together. Oops, don't do that. I'm just trying to make sure it's on there strong. These lights are making me have a hot flash, or maybe that's just my internal thermometer. Did you see what I did there? I folded in that piece that had the adhesive and I stuck that together. Now, are you seeing what I'm doing? We are going to add some adhesive and figure out where, first of all, before you do that, grab a hole punch, if you have one. And right about the center of this, I'm going to, right in the middle, punch a hole. So that way I'm not trying to do it after the box is put together or the treat holder. Okay. And now these are going to fold in like so. But you want to make sure that last flap is going to face the back. So let's go with, oops, getting that back out of there. All right. So say this is the front of my card. The seam is in the back. That's what you want, the seam in the back. This is my front. This one is going to stay out in. So let's add some adhesive. Keep this one out. Add some adhesive to this one. That's going to be our starting point. Fold that in. Fold that one in. Add more adhesive. Fold that in. Add more adhesive. Fold that one in. And now I'm going to come in, I'm going to flip this around. Just kind of varnish all that together. I don't have any candy in here to toss in here, but this will fit. Let's see what I have that might work. Hershey Kisses. Let's see if Tombow fits in there. A thing of Tombow. How fantastic would that be to gift to somebody? Hershey Kisses, maybe a small lotion, a chapstick, something to that effect. Then you're going to grab your pretty ribbon. Pretty ribbon. And you're going to come through. Make sure it's at a point. Doesn't matter which way you're going. We're going to tie this in a loose bow of some sort. I'm just going to trim some of this and do the best that I can with what I have on here. You definitely use a lot of this ribbon with your packaging. Okay. And I'm just going to come in. Don't be rough because you don't want to tear your paper. Just gently tie a bow. Again, where's my seam? Facing the back. Certainly would be easier to tie a bow if it was filled with goodies. Now remember, be gentle with this because people are going to untie it and retie it and all the things. So you don't want too much of a frayed bow going on. You can zhuzh it around. But that is your treat holder. Super cute. And I am not going to trim this, but you're going to want to trim the edges. I'm not going to trim it until I fill it with a treat for somebody. That way I know I'm not going to ruin the ends of the bow while I'm packing it and retying it. So there you go. That's your treat holder. And if you did that, you have your coordinating card. So I hope you've enjoyed this video today for December 11th, 2025, day 11 of our retreat in a box for the 12 days of Christmas. I'll see you again tomorrow. Many Stampin' Blessings. Bye for now. Have a beautiful day.